20. The equation of function f is f of x equals negative 3/2 x plus 20. The domain of the function f is 0 is less than or equal to x, which is less than or equal to 60. Right now, this tells me domain, my x values, my x-axis, I should only be going from 0 to 60. That's the only I'm graphing. If I'm only graphing that instead of a line, I'm probably going to have a line segment. So keep that in mind. Graph the function f over its domain. Be sure to include labels in appropriate increments for the axes. So right away, I'm going to label my axes. They're not telling us what this equation is for, so I can just go ahead and label down here my x-axis and the other my y-axis. Here we go. So I'm going to go ahead and have my x's go from 0 to 60. I might go up by, let's go up by 20s. Actually, let's go up by 10s, but I'm going to only label every other. So this will be 20, 30, 40. Notice I'm labeling on the line, not between the lines. 50, and this will be 60. It's okay that we didn't use the whole thing. If you wanted to spread it out, by all means you can. On your EOC, these will be text boxes that you have to add in. Keep that in mind. My y-axis, I'm going to go ahead and go up by 10s as well. So I'm going to skip the first one, that'll be 10. Then we have 20, 30, this will be 40, 50, 60, 80, 100, 120. Now, I only went up to 120 because per my equation, my y-intercept is 120 and my slope is negative. So it starts out at 120. And this is the line segment, so it doesn't go past it because I want to start at 0. And my slope is going to be in a downward fashion. A couple things I can do. My scale is the same on both axes. I'm going up by 10 on both of them. So I can use my slope of negative 3/2 and go down 3, 1, 2, 3, right 2, and continue that pattern until I get to 60. I can only do that since my scale is the same on both axes. If for some reason you had changed it, you must do this step. I'm going to clear my calculator. Press y equals. Enter in your equation, negative 3 divided by 2 x. You can also do alpha y equals enter and enter in a fraction. Then we have plus 120. Pressing graph, we're really probably not going to see much of it because this is a 10 by 10 window. What I want to focus on is my table anyway. Second graph. So I see 0, 120 as an ordered pair. The next thing I might look for is these perfect points. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and 60. So when x is 10, y is 105. For me, that would sit right about, this is 100 and this is 110, right about here. And we're just in line. Okay, keep scrolling down. I want to see when x is 20. Y is 90, which is what I had. Perfect. I'm going to skip down and see when x is 60, what is y. So I'm going to just hold down on that scrolling on the left. It's going to keep scrolling for me. I can absolutely use my slope to keep going down in the same fashion, or I can do that, 60, 30. So I go right to 60, up to 30, plot that point. I'm going to then connect these with a straight line. On your evaluate, you will just plot the first one with the line segment, and then you will drag it to the second point, and it should end here. My domain is from 0 to 60, so I'm not going to graph anything past here. This would be my final answer. Number 20. Which of the following relations represents a function? Select all that apply. So I'm assuming right now more than one answer. A. So this is my input-output diagram. And I need to focus on my x's. Every x can only have one output. So for every input, there's only one output. Right now, C is going to 2 outputs. That makes this not a function. B, I'm focusing, do any of my x's repeat? -2, -1, 0, 1, 2. No? Okay, that is a function. Even though my y's repeat, I'm not worried about what's happening on my y's. This would just be a horizontal line, which is fine. It would pass a vertical line test. C, this is a parabola. It's going to continue to go down and get wider forever. It passes the vertical line test. This is a function. D, I can graph this in my calculator and press y equals, or I can graph it by hand and say, okay, go up 1, and then my slope is 3, so up 1, 2, 3, over 1, it would look like this. That would pass the vertical line test. This is a function. And D, if I did the vertical line test, it hits at 2 points. Right now that creates not a function. There's a relation, but it's not a function. My answers would be B, C, and D.